Finally, let's discuss the concept of Tao. Tao, in its most literal sense, refers to a road. Everything in nature has its own road and development that it cannot stray from. Li, in its literal meaning, refers to the internal lines within each object. For example, if we cut a tree, we see the lines in the tree. Or if a blade is broken, we see the lines inside. In the process of working with a piece of wood, an exceptional carpenter knows how to cut along the natural inlines of the wood they are working on. Similarly, a good jade craftsman knows to shape the raw jade they are working on based on its natural inlines.
Professor Chen, I think these are very good comparisons of these internal lines that we can see in a tree and in a jade, because that's also a good parallel with Confucian understanding. According to Confucius, or Confucian in general, our world and society have their own natural lines, the same like a tree has. And these lines are natural. It's like innate rules and innate logic. So people, especially Confucians, have to do everything according to these inner lines, which means they have to follow the natural law, and to be reasonable, and to observe Li. And in Confucian understanding, if everything is done in this natural order, done with Dao and Li, following the path and following the principle, that will result in the highest form of Zhen and Li as a ritual that we just discussed before. According to Confucius, every person needs to have a benevolent heart. And when we say that, it does not mean that every person has to be like a yes man, agreeing with everything. And it doesn't mean that every person has to discard their own personal principles. To speak of Confucian Tao, one has to follow the natural order of things. But how do we find that order? Well, there is a Confucian saying coming from very famous Confucian scripture that I would like to quote here. The scripture says, and I will read that in Chinese, 格物致知，穷理尽性. Basically, there are four concepts here. 格物, we could understand as observing everything, observing the external and internal world. And by this observation, 知知, expanding our consciousness, expanding our knowledge. 穷理 means fulfilling the principle, following the principles. And 尽心 is fully realizing the potential that we have. It sounds a bit complicated, but it's a very simple idea that when you understand, you appreciate the beauty and you like it. So that's how we find this natural order of things.
Great. Especially your explanation of the four words or four concepts. Thank you for listening. We hope our first lesson will help you understand the basic concepts of Confucianism or Confucian culture. Thank you.